Alright, we're back. I just got done putting all my stuff away. So I got a whole extra fork kit here. The one that was missing parts is the one I'm using because I don't need other parts. So that one's complete. And then we got the progressive over here. I got an extra set of progressive over here. This box gives me some 5-weight oil, which is really, really thin. It'd be like piss. I think piss is thicker. Oh, they kind of come apart. But, looking at this, we got the same spring that came out of the other one here. Okay. Same spacer, same washer. Here's the progressive spring kit I got out of this bike now. Okay, so what I'm looking at here is this is our dampener. Unscrew the end off of it. That goes right in there like that. This here is a stock dampener that goes inside of this thing and stops somewhere about in this area. And if I take this one here, which is almost the same length, remember we were 2 inches different, 1/7/8. Here's my scale. So right now, we butt it up against our stop block there. Oop. There's 1 3/4, just a little bit over 3/4, about 780, around 780 or so. So I was going to cut this and push it together and try to make it work. But if I take this, cut the end of this thing off right here, stick it into this, see it's big. Now I got a dampener on both legs, stock, because I still got the seals in here. This is still functional. And I got the dampener here, the performance dampener up there. So you get in the high-speed stuff, that'll work, I'm guessing. So I'm going to have triple dampening on this front end. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and put 5-weight in there, which is way too thin for normal dampeners. So they won't be doing a lot. Or I could put 10 in like I was going to do. Because I had some 10-weight over here. Spectro 10-weight oil. It looks like we have just enough, 24 ounces maybe. Takes 11.5, that's 12, so that's exactly what we need for doing one job. 10-weight. So 5-weight is pretty damn thin. 10 is Harley thin, which means it doesn't do much. So if I put the 10-weight in there and make it stiff, I can always drain it out and put 5 in it later. So I think I'll put the 10 in it. So I think that'll do the trick. And we don't know what length we have here, so it should be the same length. And I'm going to make up a little extra length right here, so it should all pull together. Now if it comes up too short, then you're extending this, you're bottoming this thing out internally. So that's the problem I'm going to run into. So I'm not sure exactly what we're supposed to be. But once again, we know how to do this. It's called assemble it and measure it. Then we know what we need instead of guessing. But I'm already 90% sure it's going to work the way it is. Alright, we got our springy, we got our dampener, we got our fork tube. Comes out the other end right there. And we have 5 1/8 inch or 5 100, depending on how you want to look at it. 5 1/8. That stick out. Okay, so now we know what that is. Take that out. Wipe off the oil, making a mess again. Okay. We know how long this is going to be. It's going to stop right at our stop. So that's right there at the stop. We know this sticks out 5 1/8. Close, about right there. And we know this screws onto this against that stop. Well, I don't know how far it is. It screws into this a little ways. About there. So it looks like it needs to stick up a little bit. A little bit more than I was expecting. So, I know that goes threaded in there. It's got a shoulder in there. So I was going to put it right here, or wherever it sits. It might sit above it in the middle of it, I'm not sure. So let's see if that is extended all the way out right now. Oops, lock it in. Make sure this didn't get pushed back in, see? Okay, that's against a hard stop. It don't go no more than that. You don't want to be bottomed out on your stop. Yeah, it's about the same spot it was in. And that goes in about 1/4 inch. Right there. So it needs to be about right there. Okay. So that sticks up a little bit more than I thought it would. Not sure why there's a difference. We're back up to our 2.5 inch number. Yeah. That 2.5 inch number I had before is coming back again. See, 2.5. Or 2,500 if you look at it that way. If you flip it over in big numbers, see, even 500. Oop, just slid that a little bit. Just over. It's not going to ever bottom out. So I'm just worried about topping out. You don't want to top out on the shock. That's not a good thing to do. It's really hard on them when you do that. You want the spring, you want this soft spring to be the stop, not a hard stop against the plunger. So it looks like this needs to stick out a good 1/2 inch up. This is a 1/2 inch stick. Yeah, a little above. I wouldn't mind giving it a 1/2 inch to that number right there. Actually, that's probably where it would sit. It's flush on the inside. So we need about a 1/2 inch of gap right here when we weld it together. So I might have to put a little spacer in there. I don't know if this will slip inside of this tube net or not. I'll have to figure that out. But that should go like that. We know it sticks out 5 1/8 because we already mocked it up. 5 100. I'll come out just 20th out further. Yeah, so this needs at least a 1/2 inch of spacer right there. Wouldn't hurt a little bit more, I bet. There's no way we got this much travel. Now let's see how much travel this thing actually goes. I don't know how far this thing goes. It only goes to there. Yeah, just under 2 inches. Must be a gas shock. Uh, 6.5. We were at 2, I think. No. 1.5. That's 5 inches of travel. We don't have 5 inches of travel on this motor, bike, front end, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so we want to make sure it's at least a 1/2 inch here, if not 5/8. That'll give me a little bit of softness of this here before we bottom out on that. There's no way that's going to bottom out internally. This thing's not going to go up 5 inches. I'd be shocked if it did. If it did, I'd be bouncing on down the road, so I wouldn't mind if that had even a little bit extra clearance, up to 3/4 inch more. That way I know it doesn't top out inside of here. It's not going to bottom out, I just don't want it to top out. If this spring has to work, this has to compress. We're maxed out on length without compressing this. This is going to compress 1/4 inch. So I should have more pop up on this. So probably 3/4 inch up here to be safe. Let's get this about 2 3/4, kind of where I want to be originally with it. Yep, 2 3/4. That's where I thought it needed to be anyway. So, alright, so I think that's what I'll do. I'll weld that into here. I'll keep the dampener functional. We'll have a complete stock front end working, plus we'll have the heavy duty dampener in it. And then we got their heavy duty spring on this side only. So hopefully the spring rate's about right. Probably be a little soft, I bet, but we'll see. So I think that'll do it, because I don't want to be topped out on that. That would be bad. So, okay, we're going to do that tomorrow. It's going on midnight. So tomorrow we'll do some cutting, and I'll have to weld that in. I might just braze it. Do it quick with the brazier real quick, call it done. Let's see what diameter is the hole in this. I think this is smaller. $550, $480. It goes in deeper. That might get lucky. It might press in. It'd be nice if it did. Let's go over here. So this is a 1/2 inch. This is 480. That goes in. No problem. That goes in no problem. That's a 1/2 inch. Okay, so it's going to be loose inside of here. So what I will do, I will crush this tube down a little bit and make sure it's long. And I'll go ahead and just cut this off right here. Yeah, I'll just cut that off up there. It doesn't do anything there. Well, you got these holes here. I don't know what those do. Okay, I guess I don't want to have those opened up, or closed up. So I'll see what that measurement is right there. I'll cut it so the hole is open. I'll give this thing the 3/4 inch I think I want at least. And I'll give it a little extra because I want to. So it looks like the first hole is about there. So roughly 2 3/4 inches. If I flip it around, I can read it better. Yeah, 2 3/4 inches overall length is max. That'll give me 1 inch. I can cut it off a little extra if I want, or I'll cover up that one hole. It'll be a slip fit in there, so I'll crush the tube so it'll stay flat. I'll go ahead and just braze it. The sweat braze will go in there and plug it up a little bit. Call it done. And if I ever want to take it back out, I can heat it up and pull it out. And the dampener will still work. We're not destroying anything. If you hit it with a welder, you ain't taking it back apart again. Alright, there you go. That's how you figure stuff out. I think it'll work. So I was wondering if I was supposed to run more of a compression on that spring than what I put in it. My guess probably wouldn't hurt if I did. The problem is doing it by myself. Be kind of rough. But I could get some more out of that. I could probably put 2 washers in there maybe. I don't know. I'll ask my friends who kind of preload they run their stuff. But Well, I'll go back and watch that video I did at the Las Vegas road turd video. We put the front end on there. I'll probably just go watch that video and see how hard it was to put together. I'll probably take that back apart and put a couple more washers in there. Just wasn't putting oil in it. I might go back into it, see. But luckily I don't have to take the slider off to do that. I just got to pull the top, drop it down, pull the nut off, and do it that way. Alright, we'll see. That's why there's no oil in there. Alright, that's it for tonight.